Welcome to Fun and Games Side Quests. Every episode is a different host sharing a video game they love and why they love it.
Hi, my name is Adam Evalt. I am a fellow podcaster over on the Life is Strange podcast called Strangecast with my good friend Adnan Riaz. We talk about Life is Strange news, Don't Not news, Deck 9 news, as well as some just fun discussions that we have about the Life is Strange community and even just Don't Nod in general. So that's a lot of fun. I'm also a musician over on Spotify, Apple Music under one is Adam Evalt, my name. You can find my first EP called The Essence of Life with voice actress Kylie Brown. So you can check that out. But I also just released a new EP under my other music project called Caster Garden, where I released an EP called Fueled by Friendship. I'm very proud of it. I'm very happy with what came to be in that EP. There's a couple skits in there. It's just very happy-go-lucky kind of music. So if you're into that, check out Caster Garden, Fueled by Friendship. Go check that out. I also wrote the music for Nikki, Commander Nikki. She has a podcast called Nikki's Gaming Universe. Wrote the theme for that. So that's just that's enough about me, because you clicked on this little podcast here because you want to know, hey, Harmony, the Fall of Reverie, should I play that? Yes, you should. Now, before I get into why you should, let me put some disclaimers out there. This is full and through a visual novel. Now, if you don't know what a visual novel is, the best way I can describe it is that it is like reading a book through a video game. So the best way I can really put it out there, I actually screenshot the description of a visual novel. So I'm going to read the last paragraph of this thing. So another main characteristic of visual novels is their strong emphasis on prose, as the narration in visual novels is delivered through text. This characteristic makes playing visual novels similar to reading a book. There is very little gameplay involved. It's more about clicking, going through text. So think about Coffee Talk, think about One Night Stand. So those types of games. So if you're not into those, like myself, I generally don't gravitate towards visual novels. Just put that into your mind that this is still a visual novel. So if you did like Coffee Talk, you might like this game. That being said, as I say that, hey, I don't generally go towards visual novels, with my Don't Nod show, Strangecast, I wanted to pick this up because this was developed and published by Don't Nod themselves, makers of Life is Strange, if you didn't know. And I wanted to research for the show. And as someone who doesn't generally go towards visual novels, I actually really enjoyed my time with Fall of Reverie. So I won't go into what the story is for Harmony Fall of Reverie. I won't go into the story because I think it's better to go in cold. You can read the description if you want to, but I think that if you just have a basic understanding of what the story is, that Polly comes back home, her mother's missing, you have to find out what is going on here. You find a different world within that time space. You are now Harmony, and you have to figure out from there. I don't want to go into too much story details because I feel like that would be too much spoiling. What I instead want to talk about is why I enjoyed it through the gameplay as someone who doesn't really go towards visual novels. In every single chapter, you actually have a decision map, a choice tree, if you will, I guess you can say. So think in a way of, let's say, Quantic Dream games. If you go towards Detroit Become Human, you have that choice tree at the very end of the level to see what choices you could have made throughout. In this game, in Harmony, The Fall of Reverie, you actually have the choice tree in the entire game. So in each chapter, in each act, I should say, within the act, you have the chapter, and then you go inside the chapter. I'm making a lot of sense right now, I know. But you go inside the chapter, and you have the entire choice tree right in front of you from the get-go. And from here, you can actually see, well, if I make this decision, it will lead me down this path, and I can see this node that I can play towards, and that will pick up a certain gem that I want to get. I'll get into the gems in just a second. But I think that's what makes this game so special, is that you can make your choices based on future endeavors in terms of what your choices will lead towards, what kind of path you want to go onto. Now, there are nodes that are hidden. However, if you make a certain choice, you can unlock a node. So you can even go on that route of strategizing what your choices be, because one node will unlock a path and another node will let you see what a decision is, like, let's say, like 3 choices ahead. So there's different strategies that you can go into. And even more so, as you get further along into the game, let's say Act 4, Act 5, there are some nodes that are locked because you didn't make a decision in, let's say, Act 2, right? So there are some strategies there where you have to think about, oh, well, this might affect my Act 5 choices because it's locked out, which some might say, oh, that's a bit annoying. I say, wow, that's a really good decision in game design to say, hey, we want you to replay this game as many times as you would like. And that is a good route to take, because then you get to the later chapters and you said, oh, if I just decided to go down this route, I could have unlocked this path. Keep that in my mind, because my next playthrough of this game, I'm going to go forward in that. So that's a really good game design. You have your choice tree right in front of you. You see the different paths. Some nodes do unlock certain things, and I think that's a lot of fun, and I think that's a great choice in terms of keeping the players strategizing of their choices. So I think that's great. I did mention gems as well. So in these certain nodes, there are certain aspirations, okay? That's all I'm going to say about it. There are certain aspirations where if you collect, let's say, a strength token, a bliss token, a truth token, that will actually say what you unlock. So there are some nodes that say, hey, you need to have 2 bliss tokens to enter in. But if you enter this, you lose 1 strength token. So you can even think on that route where, well, I need to collect 2 bliss tokens to get to this route, so I need to make these choices. But that means I lose a strength token, so that means I can't go down this other route instead. And all those tokens will actually add up to the end game. So you actually collect whatever you have in the end of that chapter will go into a collective gem token, so that will go into, let's just say, the final choice of the game, if you will. So even thinking about that and replayability, once you get to that end point, which I'm not going to go into the story because I want you to play this game cold and not trying to expect anything. But once you get to that end game, you're like, oh, I should have just done these routes because I wanted to make that choice. Again, this game really offers that replayability. It's not like other visual novels, in my opinion, where you play the story once. There are some choices you could have made, but there's not a real strategy behind them. I've only played maybe 4 visual novels in my time, and not even like the only one I ever beat was Coffee Talk. So take whatever I say with this with a grain of salt in terms of how visual novels are played. But however, this one, you can actually just look ahead and just get to that endpoint and automatically think, oh, I want to play this game again because now I have new strategies going into this. So it is really intelligent design when trying to make a visual novel. Does the end game justify your choices? In my opinion, I think it does. I think there are some choices where you made that you kind of feel like it didn't justify itself. However, there are other choices where you're a little bit proud of what you did. So it all goes into like how you play the game, because I have seen some reviewers say that, oh, it just adds up into nothing. I wouldn't say that. I think that there's just some things where You could have made choices that add up into what you want out of the story. There are love interests in this game. There are benefits to those love interests. There are characters where if you empathize. That's English. But if you do like be nice to these characters, let's just say, you will actually get a separate route on that. Later on, you will find that maybe I should be taking care of myself. This game does dive into a lot of mental health issues. It does dive into certain triggers. However, I do think that Don't Nod handles these kinds of triggers very well, and I think they handle them very naturally, and I do think that they handle it very professionally, I want to say. If you know anything about Don't Nod, which again, they are the makers of Life is Strange, they are now trying to be a bigger publisher in the video game space. They are trying to be a lot more friendly to the player interaction. I do love how they treat the LGBTQ plus community in this game. It is very natural. I don't feel like it's condescending. This is coming from me, a cis white male. So again, don't take what I say with like, oh wow, he knows what he's talking about. I am an ally, but that's as far as I go. So I can't really say, oh yeah, it really represents. I just think, in my opinion, that's how they handle that the community is very natural. It doesn't seem like it's put into your face for no reason. I think of it more of like in a way that Schitt's Creek handles that community, where it is part of the story. It is natural. It is not seen as just something that's like out of nowhere. It just flows so well. I always appreciate that about games when they are representing the community, and it feels like, wow, this fits, like natural order, as it should, in America. But that's not me to say. But the final thing I'll say about this game, as a musician, Adam, did you enjoy the music on that? Yes, I did. Lena Raine, who I think is one of the greatest video game composers ever to walk this earth, really puts and really just brings to life every single scene. I will say this: don't go onto the Spotify playlist of this game until you beat it, because I did, and there were some story beats that were in the titles of each track, and I was spoiled on one thing, and I was very upset. So I wouldn't say go into the Spotify listening to the music until you beat the game. However, I think you will find yourself going back into Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you listen to music, and going back to this music, because it is so well done. It flourishes. It brings to life all the characters. It brings to life the scenes. It really gives your anxiety a run for its money on certain sections. But I think that Lena Raine, once again, has just killed it on the composition. And if you don't know what else Lena Raine has done, we're talking Chicory. We're talking Celeste. We're talking I'm Stupid, and I can't think of the other game that I have in my head. But, Celeste, Chicory, those are amazing tracks. So I definitely like this game. I won't say I love it because, again, it is a visual novel. It doesn't really fit my regards to what I look for in a video game. However, if you are one who loves visual novels, you really live for these. You love Doki Doki Literature Club. You love Coffee Talk. You love Coffee Talk 2. You love Emily is Away. You love these types of games. I think you're going to really enjoy Harmony, The Fall of Reverie, because it does make you interact with the story in a different way. And I think that it's just an all-around, well-put-together game. Is it perfect? Maybe not. I wouldn't say so, but that's just my opinion. I would just say that. So, again, this is just my opinion of just a goofy white guy who does a podcast and has music on Spotify. So take everything I say with a grain of salt. But yeah, that's all I really have to say about Harmony, the Fall of Reverie, without going into too much spoilers. But yeah, if you like visual novels, I would say pick this up. I would say enjoy your time with it. Don't rush it. Just take your time. There are great sections where you can put down the game. It autosaves at every node that you play. So every single scene that you play, it autosaves. So you can just, walk away for a little bit. It's perfect for that. But yeah, Harmony, The Fall of Reverie. Go check it out for yourself. And with that said and done, I guess I should say, just know that I love you. I'm happy that you exist. And just know that other people around you know that you're loved. Just taking that time to know that other people love you in this world. So with all that said and done, hey, happy gaming.
Hey there, Screen Beans. Have you heard about Screen Snark?
Rachel, this is an ad break. They aren't Screen Beans until they listen to the show.
Fine. Potential Screen Beans. You like movies and TV shows, right?
I mean, who doesn't? Screen Snark is a casual conversation about the movies and television shows that are shaping us as we live our everyday lives.
That's right, Matt. We have a chat with at least one incredible guest every episode, hailing from all walks. We've interviewed chefs,
writers, costumers, musicians,
yoga teachers, comedians, burlesque dancers,
folks in the film and TV industry,
and more.
We'd be delighted for you to join us every other Monday on the Certain POV Podcast Network.
Or wherever you get your podcasts, fresh and tasty off the presses.
What? That's not...
Can I call them Screen Beans now?
Fine.
Screen Beans!
So tune in and we'll see you at the movies or on a couch somewhere.
'Cause you're all Screen Beans now.
She will be mine. Aurora.
CPOV. CertainPOV.com.